Hard to believe this is already the fourth Saturday of the college football season. Not a particularly strong card from my perspective, but you know what, guys? The bottom line is this. Every single game is a 50-50 proposition. No matter what you perceive the card to be, whether weak or strong, you can always find that one game to make money on. And that's the point of this video report. Hi everyone, Al DeMarco here. This, of course, your Saturday video report. I'm on a 50-33 run with the free selections, including a 6-3-1 start in college football. I've got 3 plays coming your way in just a moment. So I'm going to break down the games between Wyoming and Air Force, Missouri and Indiana on the nighttime card, and then early afternoon action, ACC opener for 2 teams, Georgia Tech and North Carolina. All that's coming up in just a moment, plus a rundown of who's hot and who's not. Remember, guys, with DraftStreet.com, a unique fantasy football contest running this weekend. You've got until 1 p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday to finalize your roster to try to win a free trip to Vegas. That's the first place prize this weekend. Plus, that winner will then be eligible for a shot at winning $1 million. But that's not all. This week's contest also $16,000 in prize money. For example, you finish in second place, you win $2,400. You win in third place, you get $1,200. How you finish in 8th place, you get $150. All the payouts available now and all the details, simply click on the ad here for DraftStreet.com on the site. This is a qualifying tournament. It costs $22 to enter this tournament. And for that $22 entry fee, the winner gets a free trip to Vegas and a shot at winning $1 million. And so many others will divvy up $16,000 in prize money. And the best news of all, guys, you get a second entry for free, and it's on me. You buy one entry for $22, I'll pick up the other $22 and give you a second entry for free. Again, click on the ads here for DraftStreet.com. Well, guys, interesting to say the least game between Boise State and Fresno State. An interesting college football weekend already. You figure on Thursday night, just about everybody and their brother was hammering Clemson and Raleigh against NC State, and the Wolfpack in a meaningless to most score with about 3.5 minutes to go to get the backdoor cover, costing gamblers a fortune. Then last night, I think pretty much everybody was on Fresno State. Fresno playing at home, 4-point favorite, dropped down to 3.5 as game time approached. Fresno looking to snap a 7-game straight-up losing streak against Boise. What happens? Boise takes the late lead. Fresno State comes back and scores even later. Fresno wins by 1. Boise gets the cover. And that's the way that series just generally has been, with the Broncos delivering the money. Of course, it was a costly game here because, you know, guys, I tell you who wins and who loses. I think it's only fair. Costly game. Brad Wilton, Chris Jordan, both with monster plays on it. Wilton with a 100-dimer. Chris Jordan with a 1,000-star top-rated selection. But as I've maintained over the years, guys, when you accumulate a bankroll, that affords you to take shots with big plays on big games that you're in love with. And you've got to do that because that's how you take a big bankroll and just make it explode to an even bigger one. Well, Wilton took a shot last night. He lost that play on Fresno State. And the fact remains, over the past 73 days, $10 bettors are still up $7,765 following his gambling advice. So, again, he had the bankroll. He took the shot. It didn't come through, but that's how you make money. You know, and it's such an easy concept for me to just sit here and talk to you about, but it seems to be such a hard concept for so many gamblers to really understand. Again, you accumulate the bankroll. That's when you take a shot with that bankroll. Try to take a little bankroll and grow it substantially, and you got to take your shots. You can't play with any fear, of course, when you're gambling. But listen, Craig Davis was on the other side of that game last night. He scored the winner last night in the Boise-Fresno contest. How about Brett Atkins? He cashed in last night in that contest as well, so all was not lost. Let's talk about some of the hot handicappers with big plays today. First of all, Trace Adams, who has been among the top 3 winningest handicappers here at the site over the past 3 months, along with Scott Delaney and Brad Wilton. Today, going for winning day number 49 out of 82 overall. $1 bettors up a little over $17,000 over the past 2.5 months. Normally, 1,000-star releases is top-rated selection, and you know over the past, well, going back to 2007, how his Raise the Bar 1,500-star college football releases have hit at a near 75% clip on Thursday nights. They've been phenomenal, but today he has something even stronger. His first 2,000-star double your wager release of the college football season. More importantly, his 2,000-star double your wager college winner number 7 out of 11 going back a past couple of years. Dog Shocker of the Year. That is going for Trace Adams today. Brian Rosica. Let's talk about Brian Rosica. Rosica has been in the slump here for the past few weeks. And despite that, since his debut at the site back on February 5th, he's 70-49 overall, making a $10 better, a little over $8,800. Today, one of his hottest selections, 80 dime winner number 6 out of 7. It goes on the Saturday night card. It is available. And FYI, if Trace Adams or Brian Rosica are not at the site that you happen to be watching my video report on today, guys, just contact customer service and they will point you in the right direction. Anthony Red, one of the guys that got backdoored by Clemson with a 100-dime play on Thursday night. Look, as again, I don't ever hide anything from you. Bounces back last night. 40-dime college winner number 15 out of 24. Improving the 4-1 this season with college 40-dimers as he scored with Boise State. Today going for college winner number 8 out of 12, and it happens to be a 75-dime football winner number 5 out of 7, and third in a row in college football. One of the more obscure games on the board, it's Nevada and Hawaii, but he absolutely loves it. His last play, this big 75-dime release, was Florida State hammering Pittsburgh back in week 1 of the season. Guys, those are just some of the hot handicappers here at the site. Listen, one of today's promos, as you know, every single Saturday here for the past 19 months, I've been giving you a coupon code that enables you to save potentially hundreds of dollars off your total purchase. And today that coupon code is today's date, September 21. September 21. That coupon code will save you 21% off your total purchase today. That's picks, packages, any number of handicappers you want. You put everything in your shopping cart. You use that coupon code September 21, and it could save you potentially hundreds of dollars because it's saving you 21% off your total purchase price. The only stipulation is you can't come in and get Trace Adams' play now and then 3 hours later come back and get Brian Rosica or Anthony Red's plays. You got to put everything in your shopping cart at one time, and then you, by using coupon code September 21, will get 21% off your total purchase price. And there's another coupon going today, guys. If you'd like to save $21 off a single purchase today, $21 off a single purchase today, I give you that option because maybe that's more beneficial for you. You've got to do the math. If you're just buying a single pick, it probably is more beneficial for you. If you're buying multiple picks or are a long-time package player, well, then the coupon earning you 21% is probably a better way for you to go. I always give you both options. That's the bottom line. $21 you can save off a single purchase today by simply using the coupon code. Are you ready? $21. 21 DOLLARS. $21 will save you there. Before I go any further, guys, let's talk about two things. First of all, the $5 play of the day. Looking at Craig Davis. 50-dime winner number 3 in a row. His 2013 college football total of the year. I think it goes at 12 noon Eastern time. It's an early game and it's an obscure game to say the least. Iowa and Western Michigan. He, as he states on his webpage, says this is the best bet on today's card. Bigger than his 30-dime winner last night on Boise State. Just as strong as his 50-dime teaser winner on Kansas City and the under against Philadelphia on Thursday night. And you can get it as the $5 play of the day release today, saving $70 in the process simply by using coupon code CRAIG Craig, C-R-A-I-G, and the number 5. $5 play of the day is something I brought back at the outset of the NBA playoffs because I wanted to prove to you that although many of you are reluctant to bet totals, well, you are making a big mistake along the way because they don't discount a winning ticket just because you win on a total as opposed to winning on a side. And if you ask many handicappers, they will say exactly what Craig Davis says today. Oftentimes on a card, whether it's small or big, it's easier to win a total play, and it sometimes is the best bet on the board as opposed to a side selection. So, since starting the $5 play of the day again, I've relied mainly on the totals from various handicappers going back to April. And guys, you know, what have they hit? Probably at a 70% clip. At one time, it was close to a 78% clip, but about a 70% clip over all these months. So, Craig Davis's play today, again, college total of the year, Craig 5. Remember, it was last Saturday, Matt Rivers hit a monster total selection when he gave you Massachusetts and Kansas State staying under the total. This one on Western Michigan, Iowa, you can get it now. Finally, Scott Delaney. 3 times in the past 4 weeks, I have turned to Scott Delaney for the charity play of the week selection, and 3 consecutive times he has delivered. Last night, hitting his 3rd consecutive college total winner with Fresno and Boise easily going over the total. And thanks to Scott's efforts, not only are you 125 dimes of net profit richer over the past 4 weeks, but the charity play of the week won for the 20th time in 28 weeks last night. 20 times in 28 weeks, the charity play of the week selection is won. Now, you know the deal, guys. You got the play yesterday. In fact, a record-setting number of you got the play yesterday. You didn't get it because you wanted to see my pretty face or read what Scott had to say on the Boise State Fresno over. You got it because you're a gambler. Now I'm asking you to make a donation. I don't care if it's $1 or $1,000 or anything in between. I'm asking you to make a donation because it's the right thing to do, because you participated in the program, and because I believe that's how you create positive karma. Karma doesn't guarantee that you're going to win next game that you bet on, but it certainly will help in all aspects of your life, and it's something the milkman doesn't deliver every single morning at your doorstep. You got to go out and you got to create that positive karma. I realize probably less than 50% of you actually get the plays and make a donation. Hey, I'm only talking to the 50% of you that do so, because thanks to you, we've created a community of caregivers. I would guesstimate, because I don't know who's donating, I don't know how much you're donating, I would guesstimate that you have probably contributed well over $300,000 in the past year and a half to helping people in need. Guys, you know I make my donation every single week as well, and here this week, I'm asking you to help out a little 8-year-old boy by the name of Carter James Henricks. And if you click and read down further and click through, you'll see a picture of this little guy. 8 years old, diagnosed with a severe form of muscular dystrophy 4 years ago. His grandparents set up a fundraising page because they want to get some help in terms of paying for medical equipment that he's going to need, specifically a scooter and a motorized wheelchair. And I think his grandparents put it best when they said, and I'm quoting here, Carter wants to do the things that an 8-year-old little boy, 8-year-old little boys do, but he needs assistance with mobility. And that phrase, it really got me today. Because think about it. Every single Saturday and Sunday, every day, basically, we are celebrating the accomplishments of young men that are putting out on the floor, on the field of battle, okay? And we're winning money of it, off of them because of their athletic accomplishments. This is an 8-year-old little boy who has muscular dystrophy and needs some assistance getting around. So I'm asking you now, quid pro quo time, to make a donation. I realize that many of you play offshore, and the money you won last night you won't even have access to for a while. But again, I'll keep this information up here on the site for at least 7 days and ask you to make the donation. Now, also, regarding Scott Delaney, you know, every time I do this and I give away handicappers play for free, they don't make any money, and I appreciate their efforts. I always come back not only to help them, but to help you as well. Scott Delaney has made you a fortune. Hell, he's hit 3 straight free charity play of the week selections. And forget about how many $5 play of the week selections he's cashed in over the past 3 months. In fact, $10 bettors following his action in all sports over the past 9.5 months have won over $6,300. Guys, if you want to make a long-term commitment to Scott Delaney, you can save $110 on the purchase of his 30-day package simply by using the coupon code Delaney110. Delaney110. You want to save $50 on buying a 7-day package from Scott? Use the coupon code Delaney50. Delaney50. And again, all the coupons, all that stuff, all on the homepage here at the site. And if you ever have any questions, you can always contact customer service and they will help you out in whatever you need. Okay, guys, let's talk about the free selections here today. Oh, FYI, for me, half price play of the day. I told you, I didn't know. In Friday's video report, I told you, I thought that Fresno-Boise game could go either direction. I thought it was a damn hard game to handicap, and you saw how it ended, right? We already talked about that. I told you I thought the best bet was in baseball, where I had my 15-dime run line lock of the month, part 2, and it was the half price play of the day. Well, I would say Washington 8-0 over Miami, holding the Marlins to 2 hits, was an easy run line winner, just like part 1, which you got on Monday, after I told you the Cincinnati-Pittsburgh game was a damn hard game to handicap, and I thought the best bet in baseball was then as well. And I gave you as the half price play of the day on Monday, the Phillies in a run line 12-2 rout of the Miami Marlins. So you made money on my dime yesterday. Let's talk about the free selections. First game, I'm going to talk about the Wyoming Air Force contest. I mean, we all saw Air Force last Friday night against Boise State. Wasn't a real impressive game, was it? Meanwhile, Wyoming caught my attention in week number 1 when they went to Nebraska as a 31-point underdog and nearly upset the Cornhuskers 37-34. They lost in Lincoln. Of course, we have since seen that Nebraska sucks. By the way, was Bo Pelini brought in because he was a defensive genius? Or because he likes to use profanity and ripping Cornhusker fans? Yes, great way to lose fan support. Alienate your fans by using profanity and saying they're front runners and etc. Brilliant marketing move, Bo. Lose any more of those games like UCLA last week, you ain't going to be around in Lincoln anyway. They're going to run you right out on the rails. But anyway, this Wyoming team then followed with a 42-10 win over Idaho. Big deal. Idaho is like playing the Little Sisters of the Poor. They covered that 28.5-point spread. Then last week against Northern Colorado, even weaker than the Little Sisters of the Poor, 27.5-point favorite. They won 35-7. So they are off to a 3-0 start, both straight up and against the spread. And I think as a 4-point favorite today, you've got to ride Wyoming at Air Force. The Falcons are going with an inexperienced quarterback, making just his 3rd college start. I'm looking at this Wyoming schedule, and I see that after Air Force today, looking forward, they play at Texas State, then they host New Mexico. I mean, they could be 6-0 before hosting Colorado State on October 18th. So you hate to put your chickens that far in advance and look to knocking them all off. But again, they're only a 4-point favorite at Air Force, and what has Air Force shown you in a 42-20 loss at Boise State last week? Before that, they got drilled at home 52-20 by Utah State, and Utah State with Chucky Keaton could throw the ball. Well, Brent Smith, the junior quarterback for Wyoming, he can throw it a little bit too. He's averaging 314 yards passing per game, already 9 touchdowns versus just 3 interceptions this season, completing 63% of his passes. He's also a dangerous threat as a runner too, as he's gained 161 yards, picking his spots, averaging over 8 yards a carry. Now, Air Force has won 5 of the last 6 meetings straight up, but this is not a very good Air Force team. Its defense, in fact, can't get off the field. It's allowing 65% completions on 3rd down for opponents, so I would go ahead and lay the points with Air Force in this one. Do I like the total in the game? No. So stay away from that total. Now, Missouri and Indiana. Mizzou is a 1.5-point favorite in Indiana. This Indiana team, I don't know what to make of it. You see the big scoring numbers, okay? They open with a 73-35 rout of Indiana State. Well, when you're hosting the Sycamores, you should win 73-35. That's the bottom line. Then they took on Navy. They were a 12.5-point favorite against Navy. The midshipmen, I know they got the option attack. It's hard to prepare for, yada, yada, yada. Navy ran for 444 yards in that game, guys. And Indiana lost at home 41-35. Okay, they rebounded. They beat Bowling Green 42-10. And Bowling Green isn't that bad of a team. Now, Missouri, of course, opened up with 2 cupcakes at home. 58-14 over Murray State. 38-23, laying 14.5 points to Toledo. But, listen, that game was 2 Saturdays ago. They're coming off a bye, and it was a 1-point game in the 3rd quarter in that one. Now they're on the road. The difference between Mizzou this season and last season is that their quarterback, James Franklin, is healthy. Last year, he only played like 5.5 games, constantly injured. This year, he's already thrown for 530 yards in 2 games with 4 touchdown passes, and he's also he's gained 121 yards rushing as well. He's one of those dual-threat quarterbacks, averaging a little over 5 yards per carry. I think this is a must-win situation for Gary Pinkel in Mizzou. Otherwise, he's going to be feeling the heat here. Bad season last year. Can't afford another bad season here. I know Indiana can put points on the board, but they've got no defense, okay? Mizzou has not played well defensively in his first 2 games. I mean, just 3 sacks, and that came in its opener against Murray State. Just 1 forced fumble in 2 games. They've got to create some turnovers here. But I got to think the Missouri coaches have looked at that Indiana defensive performance against Navy from a couple weeks back, and they saw how Navy just ran on the corners against that Indiana defense all day long. I got to think Missouri is going to exploit them as well. I looked at the total for this game at 71 points. I think you could probably play it over as well. I mean, this has one of those games like 40-34 written all over it. But again, I think Mizzou minus the 1.5 as the road favorite is the better way to go. Interesting game at Bobby Dodd Stadium down in Atlanta today, where Georgia Tech is a 6.5-point home favorite against North Carolina. The Tar Heels have lost 7 straight games in Atlanta to the Techsters. 6.5 points. I'm looking at this game. You've got a North Carolina team that loves to throw the ball. You've got a Georgia Tech team that has added a little twist to head coach Paul Johnson's triple option attack, because they've got a quarterback in Bad Lee who can actually throw the ball this season. 6 touchdown passes already this year. So what they have now, offensively, they call it the diamond offense, where they've got their quarterback leading a shotgun, right? And then they've got 1 slot back to his right, 1 slot back to his left, and then they've got the fullback behind him. So what happens is that gives the quarterback even more opportunities to throw the ball and confuses defenses even more. Now, North Carolina is going to chuck the ball all over the damn place. Bryn Renner, last year against Georgia Tech at home, 24 for 35, 350 yards, 2 touchdowns. And yet, I'll tell you what, this is a damn interesting game. The biggest problem with Georgia Tech the past couple of years is their defensive coordinator, the former Virginia coach Al Groh. Well, his defenses were awful. That's the bottom line. He was playing a 3-4. They went ahead and they got Ted Roof, the former head coach at Duke a few years back, who was fired, who really did a good job with the Penn State defense last year. He came in, 4-3 defense. Tech off a 38-14 win at Duke. Hey, Duke was playing at second-string quarterback. Before that, they beat up Elon 70-0. How they didn't win that game 100-0 is beyond me. But listen, they held Duke to 254 yards in that particular contest. North Carolina opened the season with a 27-10 loss at South Carolina. Then did beat Middle Tennessee State at home. Big deal. 6.5-point number. I lean a little toward Georgia Tech. But here's a better way to play this game. The total in this game is 58.5 points. So why not take Georgia Tech and the over and a teaser? Take the total down to 52.5 points, play it over. Take Georgia Tech from 6.5 down to practically a 1-point chalk at home, where they've won 7 straight games straight up in the series, and play Tech and the over in the teaser. I think that's the better way to go, that one, because I think this truly is a field goal game in either direction, but I'd rather just, kind of move the odds in my favor by playing a teaser in that game. So that completes your free picks here for Saturday. Best of luck to you guys, and we'll do this once more on Sunday for your NFL action.